agency regular meeting for August 18th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Director Luke Dillon.
Here.
Director Rick Held.
Here.
Director Diana Larson.
Here.
Director Kathy Rad.
Here.
Director Jamie McElmurray. Here. Director Robert Cheney.
All right, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, no citizens heard on agenda items. Consent agenda approval of minutes of regular renewal agency meeting for July 21st, 2026.
I said that one correction I talked about earlier, that page from interior to exterior.
Need a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular urban renewal agency meeting July 21st, 2026.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried. Regular agenda, citizens heard, regular agenda items, 5.1.1. We'll begin with MSK Home and Hardware. State your name for the record, please.
Brandon Seashore.
You represent Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
You said it's Stratton Brothers, right?
What's that?
Stratton Brothers.
Yeah.
I make a
What's
motion,
the total amount?
40,300.
That's the amount of the grant?
Yeah.
Okay.
The two of them together.
I'll make a motion to approve the $40,300 for paving the main lot and the back lot for Stratton Brothers. I don't remember where I'm at in that, but
Thank you for stating the contract for the city. You have a second?
I'll second it.
Who was the second?
She can if she wants.
Any discussion? Discussion?
How much do we have in that fund? Yeah. Before we get going on all of these.
We'll have 35,000.
If we were to accept every single minimum bid, we would only have $35,000 left for the year.
Okay,
So
that's what I wanted to know, is if we have to start. Okay.
be careful thinking about that as we go along, because that's. You don't want to get to the end like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't want to give you any money. Be careful with that thought.
Right,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, I just need to know ahead of time, we're gonna.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Well,
We're still, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I was wondering, you had put in a request to pave all of the, your parking lot, and then it also borders the post office. How much of the post office is responsible for that alleyway?
I'm not sure exactly where the property line is. It will go by, I guess, the west side of the building to the driveway and then extends out where Goslin's already repaired.
so Jeff has reached out to the post office to inquire about assisting and paying for it, and they told them it's not our property, it's not our problem.
Oh, so they're saying that it isn't their property?
Well, he's only asking to pay up to his property, and he approached them to see if they wanted to help pay the rest of it. They basically said they don't have the money in the budget, they're not gonna help them or do anything, so. From what I'm understanding, from what he's put in, it's just on his problem, we didn't do on landscape property. Right.
Yeah.
do we have a picture of her?
It's
Well, I tried to write it out, right?
Well, it's not.
Joanne, here is right, you showed the picture, you know.
I was just gonna check what page it's on, because otherwise, if I,
Page 12.
okay, if I scroll, I'm gonna give someone a seizure.
Okay.
And the reason I was asking about that alleyway there is because, I agree that that probably needs some repair, but as far as the rest of the parking area, I didn't see any major potholes or anything like that.
In ours,
Yeah.
you might wanna go drive through it again.
It's in bad shape, yeah, it's in really bad shape.
And most of it's because of
I
the truck
walked
from the
past
post
it,
office.
maybe my eyes are going too, you know, with my hearing, I don't know. But I didn't see any major, so you're saying that there were major,
Yeah, we've already had some repaired and yeah, most of it's actually caused by the mail truck that delivers. Because we let them pull on the property. Well, we don't let them.
that alleyway, I understand that, that's a mess. But then.
Yeah, it's not, that one hole in the alley isn't nearly as bad as our parking lot is.
I don't know. We're right in the middle of the red, I don't know if you can potentially put that there, but that's where it's the very worst, is right across there where the heavier vehicles have been going.
Yeah, so they actually pull all the way up to the greenhouse past the speed bump and then where that second car is on the left-hand side is a big hole that's actually been repaired once before. And then there's holes just past that speed bump. There's one pretty good sized one, that blue area as you actually pull out. But the end of it that was the worst was repaired once, but that'll be cut out and repaired again.
But I think when I talked to him, he said it pulls in there and then it pulls forward.
Yeah, it pulls all the way up to the greenhouse.
And it looks exactly that white thing that he has going through there.
Yep.
I think that's he
The
showed
worst
me.
area. It's all loose and gravel, it's not even asphalt anymore because of it.
Maybe I'm looking in.
You don't have any choice but to let them continue to use that.
He could fence
I
it
don't
up.
know what problems it's gonna cause, we blocked it off, the wall they have there with trees where they park now, if that wasn't there, they could pull in, but then they'd probably be driving over city property to get in there.
Technically, that truck parks on city property.
Yeah.
anyway. Mhm. That little triangle that goes down along there is city property.
Yeah, even now they hit the dumpster, they shove it in the building. It's a mess.
Any other discussion or questions?
But it's just a shame if we pave it and then it continues. Unabated.
Do they have an easement for that?
Not that I know of.
But in this game, it's pretty much the post office.
I would think that you should be able to do something.
They can fence it off and make it complicated for them to get in there, but that isn't
It's
helpful to anybody.
Exactly. So a nice letter to ask them maybe to just use the street.
I think that's a good.
Or
Usually, they were actually driving the wrong way of the parking lot and over parking curbs and off the sidewalk. But usually it's because there's not a lot of room because all the vehicles parking from the gym, which take up usually half our parking lot now. And nobody uses the gravel parking lot across the street half the time.
Gravel one the city owns.
Yeah.
well, we need to keep an eye on it. It's paved and nice and pretty.
That one back there where the post office employees park now, that is a public, that is city park there. Is that at one time that was gonna be traded, the post office for.
Yeah, 'cause I remember it was resurveyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, the truck and then employees,
Yeah.
post office.
When they
they're
removed
parked
the
there
post
now.
office and then that all fell through 25 years ago.
Yeah, at one point it was gonna repair because they actually cut the asphalt back.
Yeah. All right, can we get any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, nay? All right, approved. Thank you, next, 5.1.2, which is Jason and Nan. Yours is That's just windows, right?
Yep, replacing the windows.
Is this the same request that you submitted previously that you approved?
And just, we were not able to get it done in time. The time frame for getting glass is hard. There's only really one company that does it in our county.
And they all close.
I'll make a motion to approve the $14,121 for windows for Jason Mann, which includes UCAN, photos by clothes, the sewing shop, and Tammy's tax service.
Second.
Just to state, this is for Roseburg Glass Company.
I'll second that.
Then you discuss,
And who do you second it? Rick, oh, I didn't hear you, Rick, sorry.
Why is it church?
any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Approved. Thank you, Jason. 5.3 creep stage. Byron.
Byron Mongello, 415 Northwest Third Street. Thank you, directors, for the opportunity to come back and present this project again. The property has been a long-standing concern for the city, turns out the building department, the health department, and the broader community for several years. I spent most of the last 2 years doing the difficult redevelopment work necessary to make the project viable before beginning to work closely with the city and the Urban Renewal Agency this spring. Since the last meeting, everyone, thank you, has had the opportunity to tour the property, see the product, and see the progress firsthand and how close we are to becoming operational. I want to briefly show where the project started, where it is today, and what this grant would complete. Some of you saw some of this. So from this, the project progress from distressed property to approaching the finish stage.
Just button right there.
Which one?
No,
Yeah.
to the right. That one. It's at the space.
So that's part of what I inherited. I realized that I had the dump trailer by that point, so we had already taken 13 30-yard dumpsters of trash and debris out of there before I realized it's probably smart to invest in a dump trailer rather than paying the dumpster fees. Thank you. Total mess inside, as you can imagine. So, whoop, that one. So when I came, I think it was in early May, that's basically where the project stood. That was the work that we had put in to kind of get it ready for urban renewal. So in 4 short months or so, they rebuilt all the structure, new framing, blocking, window framing, subfloors, insulation. Go ahead, Serena, thank you. There's just one little picture, but there's not a single piece of electrical or plumbing in the motel units that we use. It's all brand new electrical and plumbing in there. Installation, worked with the building department to make sure that we met all the fire coding. Go ahead, thank you. Something I'm not sure if everyone was aware, but essentially the utilities were a major problem at the location. So we ended up having to put in brand new plumbing from the street meter, which is the left picture. And then in order to connect the two buildings, we had to trench and connect the new plumbing to the other building. So this is funny. So I had to, submit, there's a deadline to get the grant, the packet in there. This was taken on August 10th. These are the rooms. You can see they're kind of like in the finishing stage here. But I didn't think that was good enough. So, because 3 days later, this is what it looked like. So I sent a last minute picture to Joanna and said, hey, would you mind updating this? It's actually been 5 days since then. They're actually significant more progress from them, but eventually you have to have a cutoff date there. So those are the first 2 units, but they're all at kind of equal. In fact, tomorrow, the electrician's coming in, they're all painted. The cabinets are mostly set. We did have a couple come in damaged, so that's delayed it a little bit, but electricians are coming in to do all the final electrical outlets and plates and everything tomorrow. So continuing to make good progress. This was a design I came up with, kind of inspired by the mural, to try to rebrand the old Rose Motel, as I think it's due, into Creek Stay with the new exterior sign and light upgrade. And this is a rendering, obviously, but with the new asphalt or blacktop driveway and some other improvements on it as well. Yep. So the current request is focused on completing the visible public facing portion of this redevelopment, paving, exterior painting, gutters, awnings, and signage. The difficult structural and interior works has already transformed the property behind the walls. These remaining improvements are what make the transformation visible to the public and help Creek Stay succeed as an operating motel. For a lodging business, the exterior is not just cosmetic, it directly affects first impressions, customer confidence, online presentation and marketing, and whether travelers see a finished, inviting motel or an old distressed property with renovated rooms inside. A functioning motel also creates economic benefit beyond the property itself. It brings travelers into Myrtle Creek who spend money at local restaurants, gas stations, and our other businesses. In a state without sales tax, attracting outside visitors, spending is particularly valuable. I believe this grant is an opportunity to complete the transformation, protect the investment the agency has already made, and turn a long-standing problem property into a finished commercial asset that reflects positively on Myrtle Creek. I'm happy to answer any questions about the current construction status, the remaining work, or what the requested grant would complete. Thank you.
How many total ADUs? There were 4, and then what were you doing with the other one?
2,
So
4 and
total
2.
6.
Mhm.
So 6 sewer fees and all that stuff. My other question, as of this morning, when I've been doing some checking, you didn't even have a business license to operate for a bridge, and a lot of your contractors didn't have business licenses. Has that been rectified, or why is it taking so long as licenses?
So that has been rectified. We have not only the local business license address, but as well as the state business license address for Creek Stay. So I'm happy to report that was completed. I don't control the contractors 100%, so it was just brought to my attention that some of them had not completed their business license, or their Myrtle Creek business license. They have their CCB license. So that'll be shortly rectified.
What about on that paving the slope to drain? Do you have a plan for what that's gonna look like, the French drain or anything in there?
Yeah, I've chatted with Zach a little bit about it. It's, there's like a water runoff from the city that we're gonna work to tie into. So we're hoping to take all that water and moisture and run it into, that catch that's, behind the park there. So that's definitely part of the plan.
So they have a storm right behind their property in the park. Copy them about time on to.
I think it looks great.
Thank
I
you.
make a motion that we, award. Yeah, I'm gonna make the motion and we'll have a second. So I'm making a motion that we, award the grant to Creek Stay for $49,373.
I second that.
More discussion.
Yes.
You, on a motel, these grants weren't for permanent renting and stuff like that, and we've asked several times, and the question been debated that you say it is an official motel. There's long term, there's short term. We don't want long term because it's this money, $97,000, doesn't cover that. And your intention originally was to turn these into apartments, which this grant doesn't cover. And, I can go through what the state says, and short term is, like I say, you bring people in. And they pay the transient tax, which is tourism tax. Hopefully they spend money around town, that's what we want to hear to do that kind of stuff. Anything over 30 days, you enter into a landlord tenant issue. And that's what we are trying to avoid, what it was before. We want this to be a short-term motel. After that too, also at 31 days, you're exempt from paying all those transient tourist taxes.
I saw that.
So that's my issue, is this whole grant is not to private people to do long-term rentals or apartments and stuff. And that's what your intention was. And so that's what I'm going to, we've asked you last time, and you just said, I plan on keeping it. It's officially registered as a motel, but that doesn't answer the questions, because there's a lot of officially registered motels in Roseburg that are long-term, people stay there for years and years at a time.
So it'll operate as a motel. I'm still learning the intricacies of all the laws of being a new motel owner, but I'm confident that we'll be meeting the requirements, local and state, for it to be a motel and run as a motel.
But that, then again, you're evading the question. I'm asking you, what kind of a motel? We don't want long-term motel, because you're exempt from the taxes. We don't have people come and stand.
Just to clarify, you're not, we don't want to tell you how to run a business. If you want, you're making the point, correct me if I'm wrong, you're making the point that if you do want to run it that way, that goes against what the grant is, we don't.
Right, and that's right.
You want to do, we're not telling you how to run your business, we just want to make sure that's clear, like,
No,
the spirit of the grant.
the spirit of the grant is
Yeah.
also what he's asking for.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to make the point, is like, we're not trying to.
Yeah, but he's gonna run it as a
Yeah,
long
you-
term
right,
stay.
but-
And he's
So
already-
what he's gonna, yeah, we just need to clarify what it is that you were actually.
There will be rooms daily, weekly available.
I mean, you're right on 5, I wouldn't think that you would have any issues with getting people in there.
I don't know.
I
We'll
even
find out.
actually talked to a couple, I met at Bellside Park, and I told them, I said, "Look, there's potentially, place there that will be available soon, you might wanna go walk past it." And so,
Yeah, I'm excited go ahead, sorry.
and it's beautiful, I mean, honestly, with the mural there, I mean, compared to what it used to look like, are you kidding?
And that is great, but this grant doesn't cover long-term rentals or apartments.
That's what I'm saying, I
It's a
think
great
we
project,
probably.
it's a great project if it was privately funded, which it should be. I don't think the city should be paying $97,000 on that. When your contractor bid on it, you told them it was gonna be a apartment. So keep in mind, right, there's the difference with apartments is like the layout of the room, which essentially means that it has independent cooking facilities. That has no bearing on its designation as a motel or whether or not, or how it's gonna be run. That's just saying, basically, I thought it'd be nice to have a little kitchen area with a sink and a cooktop and stuff in there. It's great, but that's not what this grant covers. Well, can I read the contractor? The job scope is new apartment building and residential reservation built in 1990. Owner wants to convert the building from a motel style to apartment building. And that's what this grant is. It's a great project, but it's not what this grant is designed for. So again, the apartments are just basically the cooking facilities, has nothing to do with whether or not how the business is run or if it's in compliance with it being operated as a motel, which it will be. Or in an apartment and a motel is not the same thing. I mean, there's extended stays for over a month. There's extended stay motels. Right, for sure. Long-term motels, which is over 30 days, then you enter into a landlord tenant issue. You can't evict somebody if we get back to where we were before. And then the city's stuck with all this stuff. And anything over 31 days, you're exempt from paying the transient tourism lodging tax. And that's what we're trying to avoid. It's a great project if it's privately funded. I'm doing all the research now, it'll be operated as a motel. short-term motel. And if that's what we want to decide, we're gonna have to have some kind of contract to get it, so I mean. First 48,000, we dished out, didn't follow the rules.
So my concern also with it was the determination of how it was going to be operated, which we discussed. And you assured me at the time that it would be local short-term days, but also looking at our available funding. My recommendation was going to be to cover the exterior painting, the signage and the gutters, which are crucial to opening, and knowing that there is drainage issues and other things and potential need to hold off on approving the cost for the pavement and the awning, leaving us additional funding to award to other people or availability for other grants, allowing you to open and move forward, addressing some of the concerns that have been brought up regarding the operations of the business.
I just have to, I have a concern, you know, this man, has two buildings, one of which he hasn't started on, and I would kind of like to just, you know, if, whatever a contract's saying, you know, that you will agree that it will be, you know, short term, whatever, so that, I mean, there have been so many positive changes that I've seen
There
and
has.
past two administrations. The first administration he discussed, he was gonna be awarded more money, right? And then all of a sudden that changed because we had turnover, and I just think, you know, it'd be a big mistake to back out now after all this time and all this work. And I think, you know, he's also invested in other properties, and I just don't, I don't think he wants to cause problems for Myrtle Creek. I honestly
I'm
don't.
not saying that, Kathy, I'm saying, we discussed as a board to great extent when we wrote this grants, that this wasn't on for residential or long-term rentals. We all agreed.
That's what I'm
So
saying,
why are we
maybe,
changing?
maybe there
We're
would
not
be
going to discuss it.
some document that could be, you know, agreed to. I don't know.
Like a payback if it doesn't end up being,
We already have it.
That's already in there.
okay, so it's already in there. So if it goes forward and it doesn't end up being the short term, then he is obligated to pay that money back. It's already in there.
But the grant doesn't cover it. Why are we paying money out for a grant that's supposed to be for other businesses, to be vacation, and we're taking away from other businesses?
That's a good point of discussion, yeah, if you want to discuss that.
How's that?
That's a discussion. I just want to clarify your point that you made earlier. You're saying that the awning and exterior stuff was important for opening, but the paving wasn't.
I was saying that if I was gonna go stay at a hotel, I would definitely want it to have exterior painting. Gutters are crucial to maintain the structure and avoid damage to the work that he's already put into it. The exterior painting will preserve and help protect it. Signage, obviously, to know that it's a motel. I don't really, maybe I missed it in the pictures where the awning is going to cover. But I felt that paving, I mean, MSK has operated with a terrible parking lot for years. So I felt that the paving could potentially be put off, at least, or not funded by us, allowing us to have additional funding for other awarding. Since we had already awarded you almost $50,000.
I think thank you for your points. I think that there's a difference between having a beat up parking lot at a hardware store and having a beat up parking lot in a place that you're going to spend the night and have your loved ones there. And part of the progress of that project was, you know, jackhammering up the driveway to make it functional. So besides those two, like, necessary, the driveway was in bad shape when I got it. But then, and additionally, in order to make it a functioning property, we had to like further damage the bad driveway. And there's like burn areas, I don't know if you saw that, but you know, there's huge burn areas where they're burning on the asphalt and stuff. I just don't think that it's gonna set up the motel to be as successful. I mean, we wanna market this, right? We wanna market the motel, finally Myrtle Creek has a place to stay. Take a picture of that thing, all our hard work and money that's gone into it, and now there's a big giant two burn spots on the driveway, and it's all chewed up because of the,
Understand that, and I did see that, however, again, apparently.
But to clarify what was discussed earlier is the drainage. I mean, two of those apartments can't be used until the drainage is fixed, if I'm mistaken.
I mean, they're just gonna be damaged during the winter time at some point unless it's addressed.
So is there an option for a French drain or something big enough that you could
Are you saying,
funnel that water down to his storm drain?
That's what the proposal includes, I think, right? Proposal includes fixing that drainage.
Okay,
I'm still back at the point, this isn't what this grant was for.
well, it
He's
is if
been-
he's gonna
he's
do
been
it as a
Doing
motel.
this stuff for 2 years without business licenses, he himself doesn't have a business license, there are city ordinance violations. The paperwork says if there's any sort of city ordinance violations, you can't even apply for a grant. So I'm, okay,
they're in there, they've been established. The only reason why I didn't have a business license to begin with was because I thought that I thought I had read one application that said that you had to have your certificate of occupancy before they would even issue one. So that's only been the holdup there. I mean, other than that, it's just like takes 10 minutes and it's not an issue and it's been addressed.
and like David, the first, we awarded $50,000 the first time. The reason we gave our 48 is because we didn't follow the rules on the first one, and so we only got 48, but I mean, to me, there's a history of not doing what's best for the city. and
It's hard to
city
jump
funds.
through all the hoops when you don't know, if you don't do it all the time. How do you know what hoops you have to do? If you do it for a living, I can understand, but.
Any other discussion? So we have one motion for the pull down. Let's call vote for it. All in favor, aye?
I,
Aye. Opposed, nay?
Nay.
Nay. The tie.
Bill,
May I offer a suggestion? So my preference obviously is approval of the application as submitted, because I think all these improvements contribute to the completing of the property and the project. But if the board's concern is strictly the dollar amount, I would say something like the awnings was gonna be my suggestion to remove, because that could happen at a later date. In my mind, the asphalt is the critical piece, because I don't have a practical way to perform that myself, and it has to happen like all at once, right? I can't like phase it in inexpensively like any of the other things. So could we, if we took the awnings out, then that would drop us down to, if my math is correct, around 43,000.
The office is at 8420, so it'd be 41.
But I'm paying a portion of that, 25% of that 84, so I believe it's 43 and $43,058.
don't think that's the road, it's gradually covered.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a motel, there's nothing more I can say. It's in the contract to be a motel. I'm gonna run it as a motel, it's not a
It
motel.
could be a long-term hotel, and then you say, I'm covered, but we have what the grant is covered. What exactly we discussed, we don't want in stuff. We want businesses, we want people to come into businesses and spend money door to door to businesses. And if you have apartments that the city's paying for, there's several other places in the urban renewal that have apartments. And we're not funding them. They're privately funded. We're not funding them. We're not remodeling their apartments. They're any of that stuff.
I believe that I remain flexible, I'm trying to meet your guys' needs. If
Yeah.
you're-
There was a
Would you agree to that?
gentleman that had his hand up, I think about this issue.
Oh,
Is it okay if he does something?
The 94,000 or whatever, and it's just sitting there until he pays it back. I was just gonna suggest interest. So if he doesn't do it, then charge interest on money and just make money.
So it's written in the grant on how, what the payback is if you're not operational within 6 months and for X number of years afterwards, that there is a payback fee. I would be willing to approve up to 25,000
And what would that cover?
to cover,
Just kind of just be a,
depending on if he wanted to use it all towards paving and he pay the rest of it himself. Or he wanted to cover the other things and pay for the paving himself. But at this point, until it's operational and understanding what we have in our budget, my max approval would be 25,000 to move this forward.
you want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve $25,000 for Creek State Hotel.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion on that motion?
And you're leaving it open-ended? Just 25,000 open-ended, nothing, not designated to just 25,000.
However you feel to prioritize those projects.
And how are we going to justify that with
You need
the,
it.
with the estimates?
Do, because it states in the grant that all the projects have to be finished before it would be paid out.
Okay. So,
I mean, it should go toward the paving, I think, that's a thing that I can't solve realistically.
But it's still, I think, if that's what you wanna do, we need to have something signed, that it's gonna be a short-term motel. Like I said, the first one, grants are built to be followed.
correct.
The first one wasn't followed, we're gonna pay out $48,000, I don't see this being any different. But
So I'll amend my motion to $25,000 for unclassed sand and gravel for a completed pavement project. With the stipulation that it is operated as a short-term motel for up to 3 years.
Mhm.
In accordance with our
25,000?
25,000.
I believe it's 2 years, is it not?
It's 3 years. 3 years.
So we
business
just made
maintenance.
make sure it's-
For chapters, 2 years, but I still don't, what good is that, if at the end of 2 years or 3 years, you go back to the apartment, so we pay for it.
It's, that's the same as any of the grants, so.
right. It's nothing on fire.
So I'll second that one.
Diana seconded. Any other discussion on that? All in favor, aye. Aye. Vote nay. Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Bye.
Five point one point four, St. Vincent de Paul.
I'm Terry Day, I'm Director and President of St. Vincent. Got my ones for my awnings and another one for painting. And if you'll see on one of the awnings, they have a picture that kind of changes the front of it. They have metal on it, and that kind of decreases the cost on that a little bit. And they came in a little bit lower. I personally don't care which one y'all choose. It's up to you. That one, it looks really cool like that, and theirs comes in a little bit lower at 15.1, because they're building it differently. And the other one, is an actual awning company that actually is changing it, and those are the proposed colors.
And I think last time we came in, we just tabled it because we were dealing with the paint on it.
We're dealing with the paint, that extreme,
I'm glad we did.
differences.
You're able to on and paint
right.
at the same time.
I actually got another, proposal for the awnings in today, but they were too late, so. The one awning company is out of Medford, so there's also, an increased cost for them because of travel. The other one that came in, these guys are out of Roseburg.
And that CNC is gonna do the painting.
Yeah, if you guys approve whichever, like I said, I just want it done. I don't really care who does it, as long as they do a good job.
Same graphics in both.
I'm sorry?
It'd be nice to have the same time to do both.
Exactly, so it depends on who you guys fund, so that, like I said, it would be,
So the cheaper was CNC.
it's PNC is the cheapest, both of them.
33-1.
And yeah, cause it was 18 and 15 and the other one was like almost 20,000 on both of them.
I make a motion to approve both the awning and the painting for St. Vincent de Paul for CNC home improvements for a total of 33,100.
I second. I second it.
No, I did. I seconded everything today. I seconded everything today. I don't care. Write down whoever you want.
Any other discussion? All right, all
I
in
think
favor?
it's a great idea, and it's gonna really look nice.
Looks very nice.
It's very visible.
Yeah.
It'll match, it'll kind of
It's
match
done so
inside.
much on the inside, you know, to fix up the outside.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice start.
1.5, the Boltons. They're very invested. Lower. We'll get it on the side.
Yes. Yeah. There's two different concepts. On there, it does say which one is preferred. I just want to point that out before we begin.
That was the one I would.
I would prefer that.
Yeah, when we look at the ESNA proposal, we were expecting a little bit of a different design for the quote when that came out. So just to point that out, our preferred sign would be the warm glow arcade sign, not the.
Is that what it's telling me?
This is the preferred.
Yeah, this one here.
Which company is that one?
This is from Signcraft.
Yeah, that's
Page
the other one's
63.
the green one, is that right?
Yeah, we don't want to go with any of the green or the purple. They just provided us with several different concepts to
Yeah,
choose from.
They like that one better.
But yeah, the idea is to go for Main Street classic warm glow lighting.
Yeah.
To not bring in too much neon or anything like that. They just gave us a couple different
Yeah.
proposals.
And you also mentioned that you were gonna be trying to have more of a vintage flavor, which I really appreciated because when we talked last time, I felt like you might have been a little bit frustrated, but this shows me that you were listening to us. and
Yeah, we haven't
I
moved forward
appreciate
with,
that.
oh, thank you for saying that.
I make a motion that we approve the grant amount for the signage for the Vault Entertainment Center at 15,000.
I second that.
Just
So how do we determine that, since there's two different prices, do we go with the low bid, if they wanna go with the higher bid, they pay the difference? Or we're gonna run into this every time, if somebody wants to go with the high bid, everybody say, I want the high bidder to get it. Well, what are we gonna do?
The low bid is this sign.
Yeah, the low bid's 12,546, high bid's 15,000, that's what I'm saying is. If we approve the low bid with you paying the difference, if you wanna go with the higher bid, I just don't wanna set a precedence that we're letting. Them decide, I wanna go with the high bid, and then from now on, we have to take the high bid.
I think we have to look at it as a council, as what is the best possible fit for the city of Myrtle Creek as well, whether that be the high or the low.
I agree.
And in this case, I think the high is the better options.
As a group, if that's what we decide, that's fine.
The only question I had was, that $15,000 amount. wasn't really, but what's what I'm trying to say? I don't mind. I'm curious to know if there's permit fees and there's stuff like that.
So,
We typically don't.
so Signcraft was gonna take, the maximum amount that we could possibly get and create the sign size based off of that. Permit fees, and any other applicable fees for permits, we would take care of individually ourselves.
So it'd be individually invoiced, so Leslie would see what we're paying for on 15,000.
Well, we were talking about the permits, the necessary permits for the signs.
So we would pay for permit.
No, we would pay those, yeah.
I think that's your question, make sure that they're not bidding $15,000 and then they're gonna.
Yeah,
Over all the permits and fees and that.
No,
yeah, I just wanna make sure that was clear, yeah.
It's also asking for a 50% deposit.
That's up to them.
Okay.
You don't get in the middle of, between them and the contractor. That's what we've always done in the past. All these projects, in a sense, stage right, they're paid at the completion of the job. So whatever their contractor requires, that's between people down.
Yeah, you'd have to try to figure out an agreement with them, if they know that the money's coming from the city, maybe they'll give you a break, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we already have a phone, right? Second, all right, any other discussion? Did we clarify anything? Okay. Good question. We did have a motion though, right?
Yes.
We need to clarify that motion on which.
Doesn't to sign draft this for, it was Diane's motion.
Yes,
So clarify the contractor and the motion.
okay, I make a motion to accept the 15,000 grant amount for the Vault Entertainment Center. To Signcraft, to do the Signcraft sign for their business.
And one other thing that, like, one of you're saying, you think it's the best fit, they're also a Douglas County business, and I think that we can go with.
Yeah.
More localized.
They also have a, business license in Myrtle Creek too.
Thanks for checking on that.
And to clarify too, we're going with the preferred and things like that.
Preferred. With Signcraft.
For sure.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Vote nay? All right, that is,
Well, good.
Thank you.
all right, stay there, 5.1.6, a reading wrap.
So they're not, the Regal Raptor, came in after Pacific Ink, and just to be fair with grant amounts, we put the grants in the order that they were received, so the next one is Pacific Ink and then back to Regal Raptor.
Sorry, gotta go.
Just curious about that. We actually submitted them both at the same time. I didn't know.
No, we accepted the first one for the vault because you own the building, but because you have to get the signature, while you were getting the signature for the second one.
Right. That's all.
No, we'll go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I think we were gonna come into play later when we run out of 300,000. Says, I put mine in before they did it.
All right. Pacific Ink and Company.
No, this is Regal Raptor.
No.
No, for the Pacific Ink.
Okay. Pacific.
You guys are looking for a few things.
Have all sorts of things in here, Leo.
Right.
So the parking lot, you wanna restripe it?
Yeah, it needs to be restriped and seal coated.
I mean, which window?
So the windows on the parking lot side, there's 2, and then there's 3 on the opposite side of the building.
Now this is CNC Home Food, that same one that I'm carrying with them, so you guys must be pretty happy with this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff with them.
Yeah.
The awning and menu installation, is that like a specific thing for? That's your menu?
No, that is for the protein house.
Oh, Doing another, the drive-through, yes.
Another reason to get the parking lot straight and everything else.
When I noticed on this, they put in all their permits and all that stuff, and then down below you show that the base price is 40,720, so that's what you're asking for. I'll make a motion to approve for Pacific Inc. $40,728 for the contract to be at C&C Home Improvement at a road.
Second. Did I get that one in?
Yes.
We don't get paid like we, there's the most motions.
We get paid?
We get.
Just to clarify, I didn't do the calculation math, is the 40,000 before the?
Yeah, they have it done and then,
Before the 15, first 15 I had, right?
yeah, so it'd be 15,000 free and then would it be 25,728 would be 75%.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
For the nay? Nothing. Thank you. All right, now read it right.
Welcome back. Hello again.
All right, you guys look for our sign of, yeah.
Just want to point out that once again, Signcraft would be the preferred design concept.
And this one's for 6,747,
Mhm.
and it's just one.
Yes.
I make a motion that we accept the grant application for the Regal Raptor thrift shop for signage through Signcraft for 6,747.03.
I'll second.
So back, same thing, they're a little bit higher, but are we in agreement
Why
that
were they better? That's why we're reason.
So
they're a bit higher than these?
Just so.
So like why?
it's a little hard to to see on the ESNA side of it, but with the sign concept from Signcraft, there is an additional neon barrier that goes around the outside of the sign. And just speaking with them, they seem quite a bit more qualified to execute that for what we're kind of looking for. Whereas this one doesn't have that additional barrier around the outside. The one from ESNA, I mean. So there's more visibility to the one from Signcraft.
So the difference is ESNA, the time you take out the permission pyramid would be 40, 58, 70, down to 67, so there's roughly $900 difference.
And the sign craft is closed on the outside where it's not two different signs, like the first one, like the ESNA and stuff.
Yes, correct. They seem like they have a much better design. They've had more time and they've had a lot more experience with these blade signs.
Then again, back to my thing is Signcraft's a Douglas County business. USA is Lane County. And seems like with talking to staff that have dealt with both businesses, they gotta agree that the local Signcraft is better outfit to deal with.
We just spoke with an honorary representative.
On representation.
All right, any other discussion? Did we clarify the motion?
Signcraft. The business, the Regal Raptor thrift store, and then now it's 6,747, I'm not sure. Cents.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Accepted. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we're adjourned.
That's good.